Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum, dear students of class 9. I hope that you all will be fine. Welcome to video lecture number 5. Today we are going to start unit number 8, that is hope is a thing with feathers. So we will do the explanation. Come to page number 76. Before starting the explanation of the poem, let us go through some difficult words and their meanings in Urdu, right? Now, purchase means uncha, gale, आंधी, sore, जख्म, storm, तूफान, abash, शर्मिंदा होना, chilliest, ठंडा, strangest, अजीब, extremity, इंतहा, crumb, रोटी का भूरा, sore, जख्म, tune, नगमा, right? Come to page number 76. We are going to start the new unit, that is unit number 8, and it is a poem written by Emily Dickinson. Before explaining the poem, let me tell you that it was written in 1861 by Emily Dickinson. She was born in 1830 and she died in 1886. She was a 19th century poet, which was known as Victorian era in English literature. She led a secluded life. Now, secluded means that she was alone. Her poetry is dedicated to those people who are unhappy or sad. Now, this poem, Hope is a Thing with Feathers, is about that all the human beings, they give up most of the time because they think that they cannot cope up with the difficult situation in their life. Now, this poem is actually for those people who became sad, who are sad or who are unhappy, right? So the poet, she says that hope is the only thing that remains inside a person till the end, and it is a human being who has to find this hope inside them. So let us recite the poem now. Before we start reciting the poem, first you should know about few figurative devices, because now when we are doing this poem, you will come across different figurative devices. So you should be well aware about a few of them, like simile. What is a simile? A simile is a figure of speech in which two essentially dissimilar objects or concepts are expressed and are compared with one another through use of like or as. Example, I wandered lonely as a cloud, right? So continues as a star that shine. I hope that you remember that these are the lines from the poem The Daffodils, which was written by William Wordsworth, that you have studied. So over here in these two lines, the poet is comparing two different things, two extremely different things, with the help of as, right? See, I wandered lonely as a cloud. Over here, loneliness of the poet is compared to a free cloud, right, which do not have any destination. Now, metaphor. A metaphor makes comparison by directly relating one thing to another. Metaphor do not use words such as like or as. Now, this is the main difference between a simile and a metaphor, that simile when the comparison is made between two things, so it is made through the use of like or as. But in metaphor, we do not use like or as. For example, in the poem that we will be reciting right now, that is Hope, poet used metaphor. There is use of metaphor throughout the poem. Hope is a thing with feathers. Now see over here, hope is compared with a thing which have feathers, right? But there is no use of as or like. And then see, and sweetest in the gale is heard. Again over here, two different things are compared, sweetest and gale. They are extreme opposite of each other, but they are compared without use of as or like. Now, the third one is imagery. Now, imagery, poet uses language that appeal to the senses through use of imagery, right? Again, if you remember from the daffodils, a host of golden daffodils, right? If you remember this line, it creates an imagery in our mind. Now, the last one is personification. Personification is a figure of speech in which an idea or thing is given human attributes, right? A non living thing or an idea is given the attribute of a human being, right? So, that is known as personification. Now, come to page number 76. Okay. Hope is a thing with feathers that perches the soul. Hope is the thing with feathers that perches in the soul and sings the tune without the words and never stops at all. Now, in this first stanza, the poet Emily Dickinson, she is comparing hope to a bird. She is telling us that where does the bird live, right? That perches in the soul. So she is basically telling us that where is the bird living? The bird lives inside the human body. The song which the bird sings have no words. Bird does not it does not stop singing. She is telling us all this in a figurative language, right? Because bird does not live inside us. Actually, she is comparing hope with bird, right? As she is saying that hope is a thing with feathers, so a thing with feather is what? It is a bird, right? So she is saying that basically there is hope inside every human being, but human beings need to find that hope inside themselves, because as I told you before that sometimes human beings they give up and uh, they cannot cope up with the difficult situations of the life. They think that now this is the end of the life, but no. Emily Dickinson says that no, that is not the end of the life, because hope is still over there, right? Hope is present over there. What we need to do is that we just need to find it inside us. And sweetest is the gale, and sweetest in the gale is heard, and sore must be the storm that could abash the little bird that kept so many warm. Now, see in the second stanza, she says, sweetest over here means pleasant, and gale is a strong wind. Storm over here means difficult condition, right? Storm in English literature is reference to difficult situation, right? Abash means ashamed. So she is saying that all these strong winds can annoy the bird, but it can even demotivate the bird, but it can also embarrass the bird. It can make it feel ashamed, right, of something bad that it has done before. How worse the condition may be, even in that worst condition, still hope is there, right? Still hope is there. Now, when she is saying that the strong winds can annoy the bird and it can demotivate the bird, so what is this bird? In the beginning of the poem, we have read that hope is the thing with feathers. So basically, this bird is hope, right? With the difficult situation in the life, a human being can give up, but there still is hope inside us, right? In the third stanza, she is saying, I've heard in the chilliest land and on the strangest sea, yet never in extremity it asked a crumb of me, right? Now, she heard the singing of the bird even in the chilliest land. Chilliest means a cold land. Now, in literature, snow is a symbol of death, right? So now over here it's written chilliest land, so it means that the land is very cold. So it is a reference to a dead land, right? Even in strangest sea means that unfamiliar land places that are not known. Even in those places, bird continue to say that uh, hope does not finish, right? It remains over there. Whatever the condition may be, hope is still over there, and hope does not demand anything from us. As it is written, it asked a crumb of me. It means that hope does not demand anything from us. So, actually, the poet wants to tell us that hope keeps on singing, but its voice cannot be heard. It depends upon the human beings that how they deal with the difficult situations, right? Now, in this poem, in the first line, hope is the thing with feathers. The poet has used metaphor over here, right? And another metaphor that is used is and sweetest in the gale is heard, right? This is the second metaphor that is used in the poem. There is the comparison between two different things, sweetest and gale. How can a strong wind can be sweet? Can it be sweet? No, it cannot be sweet, because gale is a symbol of destruction. Strong wind is a symbol of destruction. So how can a destruction be sweet, right? So there's a comparison between sweetest and a gale. So this is a metaphor that is used by the poet again. And over here in the last line, it asked a crumb of me, right? This is personification that is used by the poet. Understand? Now your homework is to find out imagery in this poem, right? I think that it is enough for today. Now we will move towards the written work.